the song you just heard was the Hendrix cover, but the original words were by this gentleman called Bob Dylan back in 1967. So if I can just ask, how many of you all feel this way in today's times, half a century later?
Yes.
Alright, not many, but... So I'm going to try and explain why we might be feeling this way. So let's talk about boxes, two kinds. Okay, so on the left hand side here, you have all these devices and screens that promise to you a whole new world within them. And it's indeed true, they are portals into some things that are infinite. You have access to anything and everything at your fingertips. Yet I feel we feel disconnected from each other more than ever. Why is that? Now, have you tried looking at one of these things switched off? Have you tried looking at your reflection in the black mirror, the screen that you see? That's what we're really doing for most of our day. The difference between real and virtual has just become like a click. There's just too much confusion, like I said. And on the other hand, the right hand side, you have boxes that are slightly under the surface. Now, we as human beings, we usually try to talk to people who are like-minded, who share our point of view. We are bounded by anything that is familiar. We want to belong to something, we want to feel part of a community. Well, I can just say congratulations, that's when you've entered a box, one of many. Now, whether it is around a country, your profession, a sports team, or anything else, you have all these diverse boxes. And everything around you is designed in such a way that once you enter one of these boxes, everything around you tries to keep you locked in. On the tech side, you have all these algorithms, AI and data science, that once you click on something or follow a page, you will keep getting fed the same stuff over and over. That's the one direction. And on the other hand, all these boxes are reliant on social platforms to gain popularity, but they do that in isolation, in echo chambers, in closed groups. And the result this vicious circle has is your access to information is somehow compromised. Everything you see or hear around you gets influenced heavily by the boxes that you're in. And in the worst cases, you may find yourself accepting answers or ready-made opinions that your box already has for you. Giving up your individual sense of inquiry, the will to ask questions when things don't seem right. And once you give up this inquiry, it's really easy for anyone with a little bit of money and power to basically fuck around with all these boxes and take you for a ride. So on behalf of all the Lightning Talks community, I just want to tell you, fuck all the boxes. Because if we don't try and become aware of these boxes, if we don't consciously break free of them, we risk locking ourselves in virtual prisons. And that's why Lightning Talks exist. We try to bring all kinds of people out of their boxes and in front of each other so that they can make real in-person connections. They can stare at each other eye to eye when someone is speaking something. And we celebrate diversity. You'll see an example of that if you just look around you in the room right here. We have all kinds of people from all over the world. And if you look at the talks and the topics, it's also reflected in that. We have talks on science, philosophy, business, self-development, dating, you name it. But overall, we want to create a really casual, no bullshit atmosphere. There's no corporate, you can see me swear on stage, this is something we love to do. And everyone is free to express themselves as much as they want. But everyone is also accountable for what they say. And finally, we want to have a stage which is accessible for everyone. It is not just for professional speakers who really like to enunciate and make expressions and all of that, we don't care. As long as the message gets across, go for it. So our recipe is really simple. We'll have 5-minute talks, quick but also effective, followed by 5 minutes of Q&A where anyone from the audience can ask questions about the talk to understand the speaker better. But it does not stop there. We'll have networking breaks, 2 long big breaks, where anything that was raised in the talks, the themes, the subjects, we'll continue to discuss them in the breaks and trigger conversations. And we know lightning can strike anytime, anywhere, so we have spontaneous talks at the end where any 2 of you from the audience can just come to the stage and hold a talk on the spot. What we really want to promote is conversations without feeling prejudiced, without feeling judged. And even if you feel people are disagreeing with you, we accept that, we welcome that. We want to harbor a debating culture and open discussion. So I leave you with, again, some words from the song. Let us not talk falsely now, the hour is getting late. Welcome to Lightning Talks. Thank you.